Someone installed a brand new toilet in an abandoned house, still had the green wrap on it, then left. Nobody knows why. These are the 10 most haunted-looking houses currently for sale in Canada, all of them under $125,000. The listings are real, the photos are unedited, and every single one of them is still waiting for a buyer. 13 Lake Avenue, McAdam, New Brunswick, number 13, in Video 13. Just noting that from the outside, this house looks like it's been empty for 20 years. Paint completely gone from the siding. The sun porch windows broken on every side, bare trees, dead leaves, everything exactly where you'd expect it in a house nobody comes back to. Except someone is living here right now. Not one person. Multiple people. Under the same roof, in completely separate worlds that have nothing to do with each other. One room has a Canadian flag, a gaming setup, a desk, a bed. The room next to it has Pokemon posters, an orange bedspread, and a cat asleep on the bed. Another room has a psychedelic sun tapestry on the wall and a mattress on the floor. A fourth has a Victorian wooden bed frame and purple curtains. The listing has interior photos, which means someone let a photographer inside, which means at least 4 cats had to be moved out of the way. Or didn't move at all. One by the window, one on the turquoise dresser, one on the white bed, one in the Pokemon room. Nobody told the cats the house is for sale. Honestly, nobody seems to have told anyone. At the top of the staircase, a stained glass window. Green, yellow, red, blue. Original. 86 years old. In better condition than anything else in this house. It looks like it belongs somewhere else entirely and ended up here by accident. Now, some of these listing photos have something in them. A white shape. It appears near the staircase. It appears again in the blue room. These photos came directly from the listing. I didn't edit them. I didn't add anything. I'm not saying what it is. I'm just telling you it's there. $124,000, 16 days on market. 233 King Edward Street, Glace Bay, Nova Scotia. Someone took the time to board up every single window, every single door, every opening on this house, sealed, as if whatever is inside shouldn't be able to get out. The listing has 2 photos, both exterior, no kitchen, no bedroom, no bathroom. The listing agent either didn't go inside or went inside and decided the photos weren't going to help. I checked Google Street View 2024. Same boards, same sealed doors. This house has looked exactly like this for at least 2 years. Possibly longer. Nobody knows what's inside. The listing doesn't say. The photos don't show. The price was reduced by $10,000 on April 29th, 2026. The house still hasn't sold. $29,900. 69 days on market. We'll come back to Glace Bay. 73 Main Street, Ashern, Manitoba. Most of the listing photos were taken without turning the lights on. Either the photographer forgot or the lights don't work or someone made a deliberate choice. The result is the same either way. Rooms so dark you can see shapes, but not details, which is somehow worse than seeing nothing at all. One room is almost completely black, a single window, a thin line of gray light. And in the corner, a door, slightly open. That's the whole photo. One of the upstairs rooms has curtains that reach the floor. White, in a room with no furniture, no objects, nothing. The way they're photographed, in that light, they look like they're moving. They're probably not. The staircase is shot from the bottom, looking up, total darkness below. A single light source at the top of the stairs at the end of a narrow corridor you can't see into. You know this shot. You've seen it before. Just not in a real estate listing. And then there's the children's room. White walls, hardwood floors, completely empty, except for one thing left behind on the wall. A sticker of Elsa from Frozen. Whoever used to sleep in that room, left in a hurry or left for good and nobody took it down. The listing mentions the location is convenient. Right next to the newly expanded Ashern Hospital. Your permanent neighbor is a hospital. $49,900. 204 days on market. 239 4th Avenue West, Gravelbourg, Saskatchewan. From the outside, this house looks like it's been waiting for something for a very long time. Inside, someone is still there. The floral sofa is in the living room. The curtains are drawn. There are fresh flowers on the dining room table. The bed upstairs is still made. A red trunk in the corner. Purple curtains. Everything exactly where it belongs. As if nothing is wrong, as if the house is not for sale. As if nobody called a photographer and said, "Come on over." The washing machine is in the living room, next to the window, where a side table would go. And on the wall next to the staircase, a rotary dial telephone. Still mounted, still waiting. At some point, someone made their last call from that phone, hung up, and walked away. Nobody took it. Nobody took anything. The staircase is original 1918 woodwork. 108 years of footsteps. You can see every single one of them. $115,000, 257 days on market. The flowers on the table are fresh. 368 Redwood Avenue, Winnipeg, Manitoba. The listing photographer did everything right. Sunny day, blue sky, green trees, professional equipment. The exterior looks almost charming. Yellow brick, original glass porch, cast iron fence. Then you open the listing photos. Someone started a renovation inside this house and stopped. Not paused. Stopped. Plywood sheets lean against walls in rooms that have been waiting for months. Tools are still there. A ladder is still there. An orange extension cord still coiled on the ground exactly where someone left it. In the middle of one room, surrounded by demolition debris, there is a toilet. Not installed, not in a bathroom. Just sitting there, the way you'd set something down for a minute before putting it away. That minute never came. The clawfoot bathtub is still in the bathroom. Original. The walls around it are cracked and peeling on every surface. Inside the tub, a red mop handle, just sitting there. The listing describes the character of the home as still intact. This house is in Winnipeg's North End. The listing mentions schools, parks, and shopping. It does not mention anything else about the North End. I'll leave that where it is. Built in 1905, 121 years old, 340 days on market. The listing says the character of the home is still intact. I already said that. I just wanted to say it again. 15 Lornvale Road, Great Village, Nova Scotia. 359 days on market, 6 days short of a year. The listing is still active. The house is still waiting. From the outside, your brain makes the decision before you do. Victorian white, bay windows on 2 levels, bare trees against the sky. Do not enter alone. That's the thought. You don't choose it, it just arrives. The attic is the most terrifying room in this house. Raw wood exposed on every surface. Old boards, splitting and pulling away from each other the way wood does when nobody has been up here for a very long time. A single small window at the far end. Light falling straight down onto the floor. In the middle of the day, in full sunlight, this room looks like somewhere something happened and nobody talks about it. Back downstairs. The kitchen has a clock on the wall. Stopped. Exactly at 12. Not 11:59, not 12:01. 12. Dishes by the sink, a roll of paper towels on the counter. Someone was here recently enough to leave dishes, or someone is still here. In the living room, a row of old wooden chairs lined up against the wall, not around a table, not facing anything, just lined up, one next to the other, like they're waiting for people who aren't coming. A door leaning against the red wall, not hung, not stored, just leaning there, and next to it in the floor, a square outline. Boards cut differently from the rest. Something underneath wanted a way to be opened or closed. The bathroom has a clawfoot tub. A blue curtain pulled halfway, and on the floor beneath the tub, something red. The listing doesn't explain it. I'm not going to either. The toilet looks brand new. There is a significant amount of toilet paper stacked next to it, an amount that suggests someone is using this bathroom regularly and planning to continue. Whether they know the house is for sale, I genuinely cannot tell you. And then there's the blue room. Deep, navy walls, empty. Hardwood floors, a black plastic container in the corner with its lid closed tight. Nobody mentions it, it's just there. I wouldn't open it either. The listing mentions a sump pump as a feature. When a sump pump is a feature, water has been a conversation in this house at some point. $85,000, 359 days on market. The clock stopped at 12. Nobody has moved it since. We're moving on. 487 Saunders Road, Deerfield, Nova Scotia. Google Maps puts the address in South Ohio. Not the Ohio you're thinking of. A crossroads. Dense forest on every side. Picture it on a late autumn evening, when the fog comes down through those trees and the light goes early out here. The listing photographer drove out anyway. The kitchen floor has a stain on it, brown. Dried. The listing doesn't explain it. Someone started a renovation on the upper floor and stopped. Walls, half drywalled, unfinished, stopped exactly where they were left. And in the middle of one of those half-finished rooms, a Persian rug, still on the floor, exactly where it was left, surrounded by scratched, stained walls on every side, as if someone packed up everything else and forgot about the rug. Or didn't. In the bathroom, a mirror leaning against the wall, broken, pieces of it on the floor around it. Nobody swept them up. Nobody moved the mirror. It's just there, broken, leaning. The shower has a frosted glass panel, fully closed, the kind you can't see through, and the toilet, brand new, green protective wrap still on it, still sealed. But on top of the wrap, someone left a piece of paper, something written on it. The listing photo doesn't show what it says. You can see there's writing. You can't read it. In one of the rooms, a wardrobe at the far end, both doors open. The kind of open that doesn't look casual, and next to it, a utility closet with plastic taped over the slatted door. Not closed, covered, sealed. Whatever is in there, someone decided it needed to be covered. $89,900, 243 days on market. 846 Placide Comeau Road, Meteghan Station, Nova Scotia. From the outside, this house looks like it could be somebody's home. Blue siding, wraparound porch, green lawn, tall trees. Charming even. The kind of house you'd slow down for on a country road. Then you open the listing photos, built in 1891. No power, no water. The listing describes it as a wonderful canvas for renovation enthusiasts in the same sentence where it mentions there is no power and no water. The furniture is still inside. Much of it. The master bedroom has a dresser with a mirror, a blue carpet, and wallpaper that has been slowly losing its grip on the walls for years. The room looks like it belongs to a different decade entirely. Several decades, actually. In multiple rooms upstairs, only the bed frames remain. No mattresses, no bedding. Just the frames on the floor in rooms where the ceilings are actively coming apart above them. In one room, a chair. A magazine on it. The magazine looks recent. Everything around it does not. In the living room, 2 bicycles, a red one and a yellow one, not outside. In the living room, the way you'd leave things if you were coming back in a few minutes. That was not a few minutes ago. In the clawfoot bathtub, a blue container. Some kind of solution inside it. Nobody touched it. Nobody moved it. And then there's the room with the doors. Multiple doors leaning against the walls. And one door, open, leading somewhere dark. And right where you'd step through it, at the threshold, a hole in the floor. You wouldn't see it until you were already stepping. Upstairs, next to one of the bed frames, a lawnmower. Not in the garage. Upstairs, someone carried it up there. Nobody has explained why. The drone photo shows the backyard, a massive pile of cut branches and logs stacked against the rear of the property. Someone spent days cutting those. They stopped before whatever came next. The pile is still there. This house has been part of the largest Acadian community in Nova Scotia since 1891. Now it hears nothing, no power, no water. Both bicycles still there. $97,000, 193 days on market. 103 Ocean Avenue, Glace Bay, Nova Scotia. I said we'd come back to Glace Bay. This is less than a kilometer from the house we started with, the one with every window boarded up. Different owner, different address, same city, and in some ways, worse. That house, nobody knows what's inside. This one, someone went inside. Someone went all the way inside, stripped every wall down to the studs, pulled every ceiling open, filled bags of rubble, and left them there. The listing says this was purchased in April 2023 for $40,000. It is now listed at $79,000, almost double. The renovation that was supposed to justify that price got as far as complete demolition and stopped there. The bags are still there, covering the floor of the red room wall to wall. And above them, the ceiling is coming apart. Plaster falling in sheets, hanging down in strips, the way ice does from a roof in March. The original tile floor is still there. Red and blue diamond pattern running the full length of the ground floor, under the debris, under the dust, under everything. It was here before whoever bought this house in 2023. It will be here after. The staircase has its original wooden banister, red, still intact. It stands in the middle of a skeleton of a building leading upstairs, looking like it belongs in a different house entirely. One that still has walls. The listing mentions breathtaking ocean views as a standout feature. From the exterior photos, the Atlantic is visible. The street is called Ocean Avenue. Inside, you're looking at exposed joists and bare brick and a crawl space that the listing photographer also went into, because the photos are there, because someone made that decision. The crawl space has a rusted oil tank on its side, just there, in the dark, on a dirt floor, with support columns disappearing into the black behind it. The photographer pointed the camera forward. There is no way to see what's further in. There is a photo taken looking straight up through an opening in the ceiling. Paint peeling off every edge, wood rotting on all four sides, and above it, darkness. Nobody explains what you're looking at. I've looked at it several times, I'm still not sure. Another room has blue walls on the lower half and exposed studs on the upper half. A door frame at the far end, no door. A radiator still mounted on the wall. The floor covered in debris. The room looks like it's been mid-sentence for about 2 years. The bathroom has green walls. The toilet survived. The bathtub did not. $79,000, 337 days on market. The new roof was installed in 2024. Someone came back for that. 3 Rue Riverside, Stanstead, Quebec. The listing is written in French. It says the property needs renovation. Then, with 2 asterisks, it adds something you don't usually see a seller write about their own property. Non-habitable. Uninhabitable. They listed it anyway. The first room is painted the color of a duck egg, pale blue-green. Someone chose that color deliberately at some point when this was still a place people made choices about. On the floor, a black bag, not empty. Next to it, plastic containers filled with clear liquid. Maybe it's water. Maybe it isn't. 2 cables come out of the wall. They hang there. They don't go anywhere. One of the rooms has drywall partially up on the walls, stopped exactly where it was stopped. In the middle of that room, on a small table, a CD. And on the floor next to it, a bottle with a small amount of liquid still inside. 2 objects in an otherwise empty room. No explanation for why those 2 things stayed when everything else left. The purple room has cards on the floor. Some of them are playing cards. Some of them appear to be tarot. The bathroom is pink and black, 1 toilet with rust at the base where the water connection should be. On the tank, a solution, still there. Someone put it there for a reason. The listing doesn't say what the reason was. There is a door in the blue room. Closed. According to the layout, it should open onto a terrace. But the terrace visible in the exterior photos is lower than this door and appears to belong to the house next door. So the door opens onto something. It's just not clear what. The property has 40 feet of riverfront on the Rivière Tomophobia. The listing mentions this as a feature. In the photos, the river moves fast over rocks, branches hanging low above the current. 40 feet from the black bag, from the tarot cards, from the door that opens onto nothing, that river doesn't stop. $49,000, 54 days on market, non-habitable, with 2 asterisks. The house next door is also for sale. 5 to 7 Rue Riverside, $89,500, also written in French, also non-habitable, with 2 asterisks. From the side, 2 front doors are visible and a 3rd entrance facing the river. That 3rd entrance can no longer be reached. The structure below it is collapsing toward the water. The deck is on pillars. The pillars are not doing well. Inside, there is a book on the floor near the first door. Near another door, further in, what appears to be the same book, or the next volume. Near a 3rd door, 2 more. Someone is doing a lot of reading in this house. Next to one of the doors, a plank leaning against the wall. It says, "For rent." The property is listed for sale, which means at some point there were tenants. Whether they're still here or not, the listing doesn't say. A coffee table sits directly in front of a door that appears to lead outside, blocking it. Nobody explains why. On a yellow door, a wire, not a lock. A wire looped around something holding the door in a position someone chose. Whether that position is open or closed, the photo doesn't make clear. One room has a hole in the ceiling, on the floor below a broom and a bucket. That's as far as the cleaning got. The corridor has blue plaster peeling off the walls in large pieces, falling to the floor, leading somewhere the listing photographer didn't follow. There are no photos of what's at the end of it. The bathroom has a bathtub and a blue curtain. Both look almost new, in a building where nothing else does. Different owner, same street, same river, same 2 asterisks. I don't know what's happening on Rue Riverside, but whoever buys one of these 2 houses already knows what they're moving next to. The American border is only a few hundred meters away as the crow flies. By road, it's a 7-minute drive through an official border crossing. The houses are in Canada, just barely. 10 houses, 11 technically. The neighbor wasn't supposed to be part of this. 10 listings, every photo exactly as the seller chose to present it. Someone will buy the house where the demo bags are still on the floor. Someone will buy the one with the toilet that still has the green wrap on it, and the piece of paper on top that you still can't read. Someone might even buy the one the seller called uninhabitable, with 2 asterisks. That's the thing about this market. There is a buyer for everything. There is always someone who looks at a plastic bag on the floor 40 feet from a river that doesn't stop a few hundred meters from another country and sees potential. All 10 listings are linked in the description, in case you're that person. Tell me in the comments, which one would you actually sleep in? First night. Alone. Because that answer says more about you than you think.